Okay, so dISTORIA, we're officially going live now. My mic's hot. And there we go. What a fitting sound to start off my first ever podcast. I'm excited as hell. Not gonna lie. And here we go. All right, hopefully this won't be too painful. No, I'm sure it's going to be fine. So that was me cracking a beer, and for everybody else listening here, un momento, I'm going to turn down the music a little bit so it's less intrusive. So, for those of you who have been living under a rock or just don't know any better, we're going to be having a special guest on today's first ever episode of the Cradle of Civilization, my new live podcast. It at the moment is scheduled to be weekly. I have my next 4 guests lined up. I'm super excited about this one and the ones that are coming as well. So we got dISTORIA with us, who is a pro gamer from France, and I can't wait to dig into this. It's funny enough that we actually did this interview already and it wasn't live, and then I had my settings wrong, and so all the footage was lost and it was just my voice talking. And so dISTORIA has been gracious enough to volunteer his time here to redo this live, and I'm super excited to get going with it. We're going to jump in here quickly in just a second. So the next guest for next Saturday, November the 28th, 2020, for episode 2 of the Cradle of Civilization is going to be Tordred, who is another pro gamer, and he resides in the United States of America. Followed by week 3, currently scheduled, is another pro gamer. You're kind of getting the drift where we're going here. We have Rage, so he's on Twitch, Rage of Boom, and he will be our week 3 guest, and that is scheduled for December 5th. And then the 4th one, and the last scheduled podcast between now and the Christmas break I'm taking to go see my daughter, is going to be co-creator, or however you want to say it, Civ6 content creator, Mark, a good friend of mine, who, well, I'd like to think that he's a good friend of mine now at this point, where we've been doing lots of stuff together and talking behind the scenes, and he is Normulator on both YouTube and Twitch, and I'm excited for that. He's going to round out my first 4 weeks of the podcast and kind of send us into the Christmas break, and then in the new year we'll jump in balls deep and kind of go from there. And I got my fifth spot open with a special guest that I would dream of having, but I'm not going to do any name dropping or give any hints or anything like that. But it would be a very, very big episode number 5, and that's where I'm going to leave that there. Anyway, so getting into this here, we're going to jump in with dISTORIA. He has been nice enough to give us his time. So dISTORIA, why don't you kick it off? Is there anything you want to bring attention to quickly here while I pull up the questions that we discussed off screen?
No, just go on, my friend, just go on.
All right, there you go, perfect. All right, so this is the way, for now, at least for this week anyway, we have, if you're live in the YouTube chat, for those of you who are here live with us, if you look in the description of this video, there's a link to a questionnaire, like to a Google Doc questionnaire. If you want to ask dISTORIA questions yourself, you can literally fill out that form. There's no price involved, no money involved, no nothing, and you can fill out the form, and then at the bottom there's a tab that you can ask your question. And I'm going to be doing an interview here with him that's probably going to last about 20 minutes, half an hour ish, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. And then after that, basically, we're going to kind of open up the field, and as long as dISTORIA is having fun and we're having fun, we don't really have a time limit per se, but we do have a general idea of how long he's wanting to stay. So when we get to that point, he's going to pull the plug and we'll go on our merry way and thank him for being here. But other than that, dISTORIA, why don't you just give a quick brief update of yourself and like what you got going on as far as like multiplayer right now, because I know like you were doing the 2 versus 2 tournament you talked to me about. You got the CivFR thing, I think. You guys are...
I'm playing with Ulysse, so the French team that was on the final of the World Cup.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we have a show match against the Japan team.
The Japanese team?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Tomorrow at 1 UTC, I think. Let me check. Yes, tomorrow 1 CET. CIT. I don't know how it's called, but tomorrow at 1 hour.
Tomorrow at 1 o'clock. What's the time zone?
The CT.
CT?
Yeah.
Central.
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe I'm by no means no expert either. I do believe that's 1 hour behind Eastern Standard Time, my current time zone. So I do believe, don't quote me on this, but if it's 3:30 my time, I do believe they're an hour behind. So it would be 2:30. So if you said it was 1, that would be like 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, I guess.
Let me
Hopefully,
check.
maybe we can Google this and fucking figure it out on the fly, right?
Maybe it would be more easy.
Yes, maybe we let Google tell us what time it's at.
It's at 1 hour PM for me, actually.
1 p.m. or sorry, 1 p.m. from what? Sorry.
For my time or
okay.
from French one.
Okay, cool. And so, and what exactly is going on as far as that? Like the matchup, who you're playing, the Japanese team, it's 4 versus 4 teamers, or what?
Yeah, 4 versus 4 teamers, like most of the time.
Yeah, so it's you and Ulysse, though, or is it a different team?
Yeah, Lej, Jack, and Proli.
Here's a result from Wikipedia.
Gotta tell my phone to shut the fuck up, apparently. I love you, lady, but there's a time and a place, and now is not that time and place. So we are going to mute my phone. But sorry, you were saying, so Liege, you and Jack, so, and then who's the fourth one?
Yeah, and MGK.
Oh, and MGK too. Okay, cool. Nice. So, like, I really feel bad for that Japanese team, to be completely honest. Because with that fucking lineup, my money's on you guys. And that's not just because I'm a fan of, like you, Liege and Jack are awesome shit. But, like, no. Like, that's just straight up freaking, ugh. I cringe thinking about, like, that's going to be their experience is, like, playing against you guys. Like, I mean, maybe I'm completely out of the loop here, right? Like, and not going to be able to be accurate, but freaking, I don't know. I think that's a pretty stiff competition to a wall to walk into, basically, as their, like, introduction to the multiplayer scene is like, hey, fucking play against Team Ulysse, have fun.
We're gonna see how it goes, but I hope it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be a good game. It'll either be a quick game and a smash, one way or the other, or maybe not. Maybe they pleasantly surprise us, right? That's awesome, though. I'm excited.
Yeah, they have their own server.
So I'm assuming then, like, because you don't stream that often in those games because of the connectivity issue, right? So I'm assuming Jack and Liege are both streaming the game, though.
Legend Jack will stream. For me, I come back next week and I will stream again every day.
You're with your girlfriend at the moment, right?
Yeah.
I'm so jealous, not that you being with your girlfriend, but just that you're not like, I haven't even seen your girlfriend. I'm not trying to make a move on her from all the way across the pond, buddy. It's all good. But I'm jealous of the fact that, like, you're actually, like, not in your hometown and still get to, like, move around in a bit. I've kind of been bottled up in Thunder Bay for the last little bit, and I'm excited because I have oh wait, I can't say what I have. Never mind, I almost made a rookie mistake there, because I have Christmas plans, let's just say, that because my daughter might fucking be watching this right now, and, like, literally I'm playing a game with her where she's like, I made a guessing game where she has to walk her dog every day and show me a picture of her walking her dog every day so her mom doesn't have to do it, and then when she sends me the picture, then she can ask me a question, like, trying to guess what her Christmas surprise is, and she doesn't know what it is, and I almost, like, fucking literally almost said it on air, and she knows that I'm doing this today and is excited and is probably listening right now. And yeah, nice try, sweetie. Daddy's stupid, but not that stupid. So I'm glad I caught myself in time there. So in case she is listening, a huge shout out to Michaela. I love you, monkey. And other than that, though, I think we'll just jump into the questions. So, like, and so that's, by the way, just off the top of my head, so that's Twitch TV /Liege, LEGE. Is it LEGELOL or is it just LEGE? Because you know more than me.
LEGE.
Correct. And then Jack's is Twitch /Jack the Ripper GB, I think, off the top of my head.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's happening tomorrow. I'm probably going to be watching that because maybe because I have to find out what time the Saints play tomorrow. But I'll be drinking beer all day and watching football, but I will definitely fit in some Civ 6 as a fan if I can make it by. I'd love to pop in on them. But yeah, anyway, so then, like, going forward, I guess we'll just jump into basically the questions that I had for you, and we'll go from there. All right, so first and foremost, like quick and easy introduction. Let's pretend nobody knows who you are, what you do, where you do it, and catch them up to speed. We kind of half covered this already, but let's pretend we didn't and just fucking go from here.
So I'm dISTORIA. I'm actually playing Civilization at pro level on the World Cup and the French team. I'm playing Civilization most of the time every day. I also play a bit of TFT.
A bit of what, sorry?
TFT.
What's TFT?
It's a mod of League of Legends.
Okay. Yeah.
And also a bit of Dota.
Okay, that I definitely understand what that is. I definitely have heard of that. So Dota 2, I'm assuming, correct? Or like
Dota 2 and TFT for chilling a bit with my girlfriend.
Okay, right on. Nice. Good.
Sometimes you don't have 4 hours for a fucking Civilization 6 game.
Yeah, no shit, right? Like, I don't have time, and I fucking do this full time. That's definitely a fair thing. That like, I mean, that's the one thing for me, like that. It's like, because I mean, I can sit there and I have my Sunday set aside where like that's my one day off. Like I'm working 6 days a week, right? But like my Sundays are like religious. That's football for me. Like I'm off. Don't talk to me. Like I'm not doing Civ 6 stuff at all. But like, other than that, I happily spend like 4 hours watching a pro football game. And until like I was exposed, like I said, like back in September, really was the first time I heard about like the CWC. So that's Civilization World Cup series, for those of you who don't know. A huge shout out to Agathy. He has cool shit going on, and I'd highly recommend you check them out. But I just was completely oblivious that there was even this like blossoming esport around the game that I fucking have a like channel about, and I had no clue, like none. Up until September, I randomly saw like when the season 3 trailer or whatever was launched, right? Firaxis retweeted it, and I was like, what is that? And then like, look, here we are now, and I'm talking to a freaking like runner-up world champion live, right? It's just funny the way things work.
I also create a tournament a few months ago with 250 euro of cash prize. That was the Russians.
With the how much cash prize, sorry?
250.
250 euro?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And this was that you put it on yourself?
Me and the sponsor.
Okay, right on. That's awesome. So, and then like how many teams were involved in the tournament? How'd that happen?
16.
16.
There was 16. Yeah.
16 teams. Right on. So that must have been fun then.
Yeah.
All right, so that's good enough for that. So a quick blast from the past. What was like your early childhood like in general? Like what country did you grow up in? Like, I mean, clearly I know it's France, but like you know, were you poor, modest, wealthy?
Mostly poor.
Mostly poor. Me too, man. Like, don't worry, we're cut from the same cloth.
But it's okay. I grow on my own.
Oh, exactly. I love playing in the dirt, and fucking, you know what? When I climb up, and it's just gonna make it that much more special when I do get to enjoy the things that like I work hard for, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So then, as far as that, as far as that goes, then like, so how did you first get into video games, and like what kind of systems were you playing on? Because like I know you're a little bit younger than me. I think is that accurate? I'm 34.
Yeah, I'm 29.
Yeah, so I got you by a few years, but not that much. So like, what systems did you first start playing, like, and what games and that kind of stuff?
When I was really young, I did play on Heroes 3 on a computer because my mother was playing it. It was a strategy game.
Yeah.
And then I did play on some console, like the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, I remember that much. GoldenEye, right? The GoldenEye, yes.
I did play the Sega too, a bit.
Yeah, Sega Genesis or the Sega Saturn, or which one?
Oh, I don't know which one.
Oh, okay, but probably Sega Genesis. Like it was around the same time that Super Nintendo was there, or okay.
I don't know. That was my not my father, but the father of my father that had it, so it was pretty old.
Okay, so yeah, it probably would have been a Sega Genesis then, most likely, like the old school thing. So, and then like, so what kind of games on those console systems, like other than GoldenEye, like what other kind of games caught your eye?
I did play a bit on Pokemon Stadium.
Pokemon?
Match on PS1. Ratchet & Clank.
Nice.
I did play like a lot of game GTA, obviously Grand Theft
Yeah.
Auto.
Oh yeah. I can figure that one out. Don't worry. That translates well
FIFA,
into English.
FIFA, Football Manager, I did play too. Like
Okay.
so
And so
many deep.
excuse me. So Football Manager, that's soccer, correct? Like I would say soccer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not football.
Not my football. Your football. The world's football. Not my football. Yeah, I got you. I just wanted to double check to make sure that I was understanding it right.
It's my friend.
And then, so like you said, the first computer game that you actually played was from like you saw your mom playing it, and then how did you get like you watched her play, or how did that go?
I watched her play for a few months, and then I asked to play, and she was like, "No, it's too hard for you because it was like a game for adults, a strategy game."
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever see Heroes.
I,
Heroes Might Magic.
I've heard of it. I've never played it, but like I've seen screenshots, and I'm kind of aware of the game. But yeah, the concepts and whatnot that are revolved around it. So for those of you who don't know, because I actually had to go run and let my dog in quickly because he's whining. So D'istoria wanted to just quickly like explain what Heroes of Might and Magic was, like so that the viewers who might not know the game could have a better idea.
It was a strategy game, turn by turn, like Civilization a bit, but it was not a long run during different era. It was like you had 10 or 12 civilization, I would say, and it was not an era. It was a magical creature. Like there was a castle with human, with angel, with monk. Not the monk, the animal, but the monk that you have on the church. And there was another castle that was with the devil, the diablotin, and this kind of units. So
Okay.
it was really different from one Civ to another one, but it was, yeah, s- we can say same kind of games than
Yeah, similar.
Civilization.
Yeah. Cool. Right on.
Turn by turn strategy.
And then you just like took to it like a duck in water, like because I had to run to get the dog there, so I didn't hear if you said it. Like you watched your mom play, and then like she didn't think you could do it, and then you did it anyway, and it surprised her.
Yeah, then I asked to play anyway, and I was asking for it like every day. So
Oh,
one day,
she knew it was serious. You had to like wear her down, like she didn't just be
Yeah.
like, okay. So how long
one
did it
day
take?
she say, "Okay," I don't remember.
Oh, you
but
don't remember?
one day
Okay.
she say, "Okay," so I did start to play. I like a lot. I was playing with her, and I start to win against her. And she was doing a competition, and when I had, I don't know, 9 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
I was doing a bit of competition on this game against people that had 30 years old, and I was just a kid.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I completely can relate to that 100%. So like my like computer gaming story, like my coming of age with computers, my mind was fucking blown. Like I like literally was similar to you, right? Playing console systems like as a kid, like Nintendo, like the original NES was my first like thing experience ever. My parents got it for us for a gift. Like I was actually in like a religious cult thing, so we didn't have Christmas, but essentially we got it for Christmas because they had this thing in their religion or whatever that they followed that like they didn't celebrate Christmas, but they had these like they celebrated like the I don't even remember now because I hate religion so much personally, but like it's like the Feast of Tabernacles or some shit. Like I don't know, whatever the like biblical thing for fucking Christmas is, like the official name, like and so that's what they celebrated, and they had these things they were called feasts essentially, where like they'd have big congregations that where you would like leave town and travel to like different places, and they'd have like huge meetings of this like religion there. You'd like congregate and go to church services basically, but for us it was just like you got to go out of town. Like then that was all I cared about because I was a kid and I didn't like religion, right? But yeah, so I started with the Nintendo, like Super Mario and stuff, the original. That was the first ever, and then kind of my next system was the Super Nintendo, and like Street Fighter 2 was my first game on there, and I fucking loved it. And then after that, though, because like I said, we were really poor, right? So when I wanted my Nintendo 64, my parents couldn't afford it. And so I actually like got a paper route because of that, and I bought my own Nintendo 64 when I was a kid, and GoldenEye was the first game I played on that. And I mean, everybody remembers that game, like the freaking the golden gun, the one-shot kills, like fucking how OP is that? But how much fun was it to play like especially at the time too, being able to play with like 4 friends like at a time was just insane. Like now you'd like laugh at it. Like kids these days are like even whatever, like oblivious they just of how good they had it. But like the older people like us, we were like there for the beginning, right?
Yes, my friend.
But yeah, so then like your first computer game you touched on, like other than that, like as you grew up, like so that was like your first introduction to the computer games was the game there. Then like what how did you pivot from there? Like what computer game next caught your fancy that like you really got into?
League of Legends.
Okay, and about what age was that then?
Oh, I was 15, 16 maybe.
15, 16.
When it on the beta when it get out.
Okay, when it was first released. Okay, and see, that's one thing. Like I'm definitely aware of League, right? Like I'm not naive. Like I think at this point, anybody who's in the gaming scene has to be at least aware of what it is. But it's one thing I played it and I never got into it. Like I've always been like a Blizzard fanboy, or I was, because I personally I'm definitely not anymore. I fucking hate the company, and like, but at in the heyday in the 90s, like with Warcraft 2, that was the first computer game I ever saw. Was like literally I was oh god, I couldn't tell you the age for sure, but my older cousin, we went down to the States and I saw him playing Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness. And it just like changed the course of my life forever. Like after that, consoles didn't exist as far as I was concerned. Like it was just computer. And then like I got back from that trip, right? And I told my best friend Bobby, like he lived out in the country or whatever. And like I basically went there like every single freaking weekend. Like his mom would pick me up, like was working as a bank manager in town, and she'd pick me up Fridays after off work, and I would go spend every single weekend out with them and their family, and then my parents would come get me on Sundays. And so then I came back and I told him about it, and because they had more money, they actually like had a computer and stuff, right? And then so we ended up getting it and starting to play it, and we got like we got told about StarCraft then from like a family friend of my best friends, right? Gave us the freaking little unit map list and then the game manual for StarCraft, and we poured over that thing for like hours and hours and hours and hours and just never looked back from there. But so then, like moving on, like because obviously, I mean, nobody really gives a fuck about me, and you're the guest here, so let's get back to you. What was your first experience of like gaming on, or not gaming online? Sorry, of like watching YouTube or Twitch gaming, like because like I'm assuming like you're older like me, then you were around when like Twitch TV was like Justin TV, right?
Yeah.
So like what was your first experience as to like seeing somebody play a game on either YouTube or Twitch, like, and what was that about?
It was on League of Legends.
The League of Legends, so like around the same time.
I was looking for a not professional at this point, but for good player.
Yeah.
That had a good ranking, so I was watching movies on YouTube on
like tutorials on how to get better.
TV. And people that was playing at a good level.
Yeah, for sure. Do you remember off the top of your head any names of people that you watched when you were first doing that?
No,
too long ago. Don't worry, my friend. You're preaching to the choir. I probably couldn't tell you that myself, so don't worry. That's a tough question. And then, so do you consume content now? Because now you're like literally at a professional level for Civ 6, right? I know from our personal conversations, I know you've coached League before, I think, right? Or was that Fortnite?
Yeah, both.
Both, okay.
Of them.
So, but now though, like currently, do you actually like consume content at all? Like other than yourself or like professionals? Like, I mean, I know you see Liege's and stuff, but I mean, other than Leisure Jack or whatever.
Most of the time I'm watching the stream of the different opponent I have on Civilization.
Okay.
To know what they play, how they play, what they
Perfect.
prefer to prepare the match.
Yeah.
But other than that, when I play a game in solo like Crusader King 3, Football Manager, this kind of games, I most of the time I always watch something. Like sometimes it's a movie, a series, Netflix, but most of the time I'm looking a stream or YouTube video.
Yeah, and I'm very, very similar in that regard. Where like I don't watch any TV anymore now. Like I literally don't even have time to watch Netflix. Like I canceled my account. Like as of yesterday, I no longer have Netflix, which kind of hurts me because like literally I canceled it, right? So yesterday was the last day, and I haven't been watching any of it. And then, like literally a week or two ago, like not even like a week and a half ago, one of my viewers actually like recommended I check this out and showed me like a trailer for a new Netflix series, and it's based on like I think it's called like Barbarians or something, but
Oh yeah,
it's
I
based
saw
on.
it.
Yeah, and so like I started to watch it and I'm like, oh my god, that's so good. Like I watched like I think half an hour or something of it, and then I turned it off, and I haven't had a chance to go back to it. And then I just literally looked at the clock or the calendar now, and I'm like, oh wait, I can't go back to it. Well, at least not. I can't go back to it anyway that I'm going to talk about on the internet. but yeah, anyway, moving on. So then, when did you first decide to actually start streaming or creating content for yourself? Like, so like, was it League? Was it Civ? Like, what?
Yeah, on League of Legends, when I was after starting like 6 months or 1 year, I
Yeah,
did start a bit on streaming, and then I was a manager, and I was also organizing a tournament for Team
tournaments for
A.
League, or not for League, for League. I said
Yeah,
Liege.
for League.
Yeah, I know. It's just
Tournament of League of Legends for
yeah.
Team AAA. It's a French
Oh, okay.
team.
And is that like in like some sort of semi-pro like League of Legends
Yeah,
league, or how does that work? Because I like
professional. That was
oh, it
for
is the actual professional.
Yeah, that was like the first big French event with it was 2050 and $500. Sorry.
Jesus, like yeah, like 2,500.
Yeah.
Wow, like yeah, like see, and that's how like I guess because you only basically like everybody has their own things, right? You know what I mean, like their own games and whatnot. Like me myself, I'm a huge StarCraft 2 fan, right? Like I can't play it for shit, but like the GSL, like there's like a professional StarCraft league in Korea called the GSL, and it's like I watch it like literally for hours and hours and hours. Like I probably watch more StarCraft 2 than I do Civilization, like the CWC stuff, even though like I'm a big fan of it. Like I still like will literally sit there for like 4 hours like every single time they go, and I'll watch it like from front to back, and I make time for it because that's like my own personal like downtime, you know what I mean? And it was so funny, actually, like just speaking of that. So like the GSL and the StarCraft Pro scene or whatever, the two English casters are like their screen names are like Tastos, or their nicknames together are Tastosis. It's like a combination of them, but it's Artosis and Tasteless. And Tasteless is actually the brother of Day 9, right? And they all like stream, and now I just found out that like I bumped it randomly. I literally was falling asleep watching Day 9 on Magic the Gathering on Twitch, right? And I woke up watching his brother on Twitch for the first time. Like I hadn't ever checked his like personal stuff out on Twitch yet, but because I guess Sean is like Day 9, right? And I fell asleep him doing Magic the Gathering. He hosts his brother, like auto hosted after he was offline. So like when I woke up randomly like a few hours later, I was still on the big screen TV, and like I was connected to like the Day 9's channel, but he was hosting his brothers. So then I was like, holy shit. Like I started talking to him, and now I'll be back. Like it was freaking hilarious, and it was awesome to catch him because he was playing like the old school StarCraft, like the one that I grew up on, like Brood War. Like they did the remastered version, right, of it, like recently, like I think within a couple years ago. But like I haven't like really played it myself or like even watched the content basically. And then just seeing that, I was like, yeah, you know, I can actually get into this again. So that might be happening in the near future, but I don't want to make any plans because like right now I'm just a little bit overwhelmed with everything I have going on. But anywho, moving on along here, then like when you're first starting out, then when you're first streaming the League of Legends stuff, right? Like back we're kind of like jumping back in time again. So when you're first starting to stream it officially, how did you, like when you had like no viewers or like almost no viewers and stuff, right? Like when you're first starting, how did you like deal with that? Like how did you get comfortable streaming when you didn't have a huge audience, or did you have a big audience already because you were like around in the scene? Like how did that work?
That was depending on what I was playing and what I was doing, but most of the time the best way to get more viewers and to not be on a bad mood because you have less viewers than other day or these kind of things
Yeah.
is to speak whenever you have viewer or not, and not looking at the number of viewers.
Yeah, and exactly, and like I would echo that myself. Is that like really you have to pretend like, and I tell this to like everybody who asks me like personally and privately or whatever. Is that like it doesn't matter if you have 1 million viewers or you have 0 viewers. It shouldn't impact your casting at all or your commentating. Like what you need to do is just practice. Basically, I say the best way what you need to do is like get rid of the filter between your brain and your fucking mouth. Like you need to just delete it. Like you need to be able to like whatever comes is thoughts are in your brain as you're streaming or playing just needs to come out your mouth like with nothing in between, you know what I mean? And that's the easiest way. And once you practice that, it takes a bit of repetition and a bit of practice, but then it doesn't matter. You can have 1 million people or 0 and you still do the same thing. And then as you get a little bit more experience and there's actually people in your chat to listen to you and ask you questions, it just becomes so much easier then, right? But ultimately
you can interact with them after that.
Yeah.
But before that, you have to be able to fill out all the space of your stream on your own if you want to grow. But depends what you
for
want
sure.
from the game.
So speaking of the people that are listening to you that I haven't actually addressed yet at all, I want to give a huge shout out to Jesse McGrath, said gamer fucking Gramps. Well, he said gamer freaking, but I embellished there. He said, watching you cast the CWC got me watching the multiplayer scene. I hope you stick with it because we, North America, could use some representation. I agree, Jesse, 100%. He says, Dstoria, Liege, MJK, and Jack are fun to watch. 100% agree with that. And your favorite team for sure is Ulysse. Yeah, like I'm torn. I would have to say probably realistically it is my favorite team for sure is Ulysse. But I am a little bit torn because like with Tordred and him being nice to me and interacting with me and talking to me and stuff, I do kind of have a soft spot for the guys who knocked you out. Like it might not have been the nicest way that they won the world championship, and I don't want to.
But they won.
What?
They won.
They won, exactly. They got her done, and it happened, and it's over with. And now season 4, you guys are going to be fucking gunning for him, right? Like coming for that number 1 spot.
We are only improving.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm really looking forward to season 4 going on because, like, from talking with Agathy and stuff, like, I'm so excited for what you guys have going on the back end of things that, like, we're not really going to talk about. But, like, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff coming for season 4 that I can't wait to be a part of it, like, in my own small way, right?
Yeah.
And how's it going in Atlantic Sea, by the way? I see you there. I don't know what message was retracted, but I'm assuming it was a typo or something. I don't know, because there's no profanity filters here, clearly. If I'm dropping fuck bombs, like, feel free in chat. There's no profanity filter. You can ask me anything. And then, as I said, for those of you who are just popping in here, if you are live on the YouTube channel where this is being streamed live right now, if you go in the description, there's not only is there like Distoria's all of his links there to his Twitch, his YouTube, and then also his Twitter account, but then underneath that there's actually a link to a Google Doc form where if you go ahead and you fill out the form, you have to fill out every single thing, but then at the bottom of that there's a slot where you can ask a question, and as soon as me and Distoria are done shooting the shit here and going through these scripted questions, we're going to kind of go off the beaten path a little bit, and we'll be I'll be reading through those questions and we'll be asking them one at a time. There's no money involved whatsoever with that. And we'll get to as many of them as we can. And obviously, like there, it says it so in the actual Google Doc. But just so you know, you can feel free to ask whatever fucking question you want. But whether he answers it or not is going to be up to Distoria. So just take that with a grain of salt there. Like, feel free to ask what you're wondering, but it might not get answered depending on how comfortable Distoria is talking about it. Like, for instance, I mean, he's pretty open book, I think, as far as I can tell, anyways, from my interactions with you, right? But I mean, I'm sure if you fucking ask like inappropriate questions about his girlfriend, he's going to give you a swift fuck off, and we'll move on to the next question, right?
It depends.
It depends what the question is.
And the price.
And the price. Oh my God. Are you pimping out your girlfriend online, Distoria? Is that? No, I'm kidding. No. But yeah, anyways, moving on then. So getting back to the questions here, because we're almost fucking done. Like, I think we only have a few more. We're actually going through this pretty quickly, which is better than the first time we did it, because it did take quite some time, I think. So then, Okay, so yeah, so when did you first think that you could possibly earn some income off of whether it's streaming or competitive? Which when did that happen for you? How did you see that and realize it?
It was not really something that I see like that. It was I had nothing to do of my day because of some health issue. So I
Hmm.
was just streaming and I was enjoying it. And after some time, I started to earn some money. So I was like, yeah, why not? But
For sure, and like, have you won a lot of like cash prizes for tournaments and stuff? Like, how's that gone for you? And like any game, like not just Civ, but like League or Fortnite or whatever, like anything like that.
yeah, I did win a bit, but nothing enough.
Nothing.
Like,
Not
I,
you're still living in an apartment, not a mansion. In other words,
yeah,
right?
ex-
Oh, sorry. What was that?
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Okay, no problem. On my end it cut out. I didn't hear what you said. Um, all right. Well then, continuing on along. Like, when did you first start thinking about making a career out of it, or if you haven't yet, right? Are you getting close to that point? And what's holding you back? Because I know the answer to this already clearly. Like we've talked, but like the viewers obviously don't, right? So
What is
okay,
holding
here
me?
I'll start with it nice and easy out because it like that was like three questions and I know English isn't your first language, so you're rocking it, man. Like you're fucking making me jealous. I'll tell you that. Like if we switch to French, I don't think it's gonna go so smoothly this interview.
Yeah, I agree on that, but I try my best.
Oh, for sure, and you're nailing it is all I'm saying, man. So when did you first start thinking about making a career out of whether it's streaming or like competitive play or a combination kind of thing? Like when did that idea first occur to you?
A few months ago, but it's not
Okay.
your choice. It's because I couldn't work on something else.
Yeah, exactly. And so and you're just double checking because I forget what your answer was. Like I know what the issue is that fair game to talk about or just move on?
Oh, I don't care.
you,
You can.
you don't care, I can ask. Okay, so then like so everybody else listening to this knows, so Distoria had a back issue, I believe, off the top of my head, right? Like something happened at work.
Yeah, I had a little issue with skills, but it's okay. I'm just getting surgery every year, so I'm not on a good state for working.
Yeah, for sure. So like with your physical disability, that kind of like it's almost like how people like all of a sudden with COVID they couldn't go out and work even if they wanted to, right? Like it's totally out of their hands and you can't blame
Yeah,
people. Like it is what it fucking is, right? So then but like what I think is really important to think about it like in a good angle to look at it is that so like even me with my own mental health problems, right? Like I have anxiety and depression and fucking like I had to take like 4.5 months off of YouTube at some point. Like I mean I just finished going through like the darkest time in my life these last 2 years where like straight up truth, if my daughter wasn't in the picture I would have fucking killed myself, like, and it was that bad. And like now look at me, like think about that, right? Like if like you if I would have done that and if she didn't exist, like it was never on the table because she existed, like it was never gonna happen, right?
yeah,
But like had like in a hypothetical fucking alternate universe where my daughter didn't exist and I went through what I just went through, I would have freaking literally like ended my life, which would have been a tragedy, right? But then think about like less than 2 years later, as dark as it seemed, where like I couldn't think about like that there was a future. I was just like, this is it for me. Like my life's over. Like it's ruined. Like it's too late. It's gone. You know, like I fucking whatever, right? And then not even 2 years later, now I'm doing something full time that I love to do, right? Like I wake up and I'm happy. Like I wake up and I can't wait to get started working. Like I've been working like 60 to 90 hours a week since August 15th and loving every minute of it. And now like it's just unbelievable how much happier it makes me. Yeah, like I'm not a millionaire, you know, I'm not fucking PewDiePie, but like I'm doing something that I actually enjoy. And like having that mentality though, right, is to be like, okay, because like a lot of people, for instance, right, you could, if you didn't have like the right approach to it in your situation, okay, you get injured at work, you have back problems now, right, like physical issues, so you can't like work to provide for yourself like you always have, right? And
yeah,
then
exactly.
a lot of people could just like be like, well fuck, like you know, there it goes. Like, my life's over. If I can't work to provide for myself, what am I going to do? And then with you and your mentality, though, you decide to take, like, make the best of a bad situation, right? Like, so, okay, you can't work, you can't change it. Yeah, exactly. And so now you're, like, pivoting and freaking making the best you can of, like, of the situation that you have no control over, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, so we won't dwell on that too much yet. So then, so you said, like, you're a few months ago, that's when you started thinking about making a career out of it, right? So like, and again, I know these answers, but like, how close are you getting to actually making a like full-time living off of it? Because like, I know
I need to be more how it's called,
consistent, like regular.
yeah, more consistent, more regular. But
Yeah.
the thing that is holding me the most is the fact that I prefer live on Twitch and enjoying my time playing, talking with viewers, when I could only do coaching like every day and getting some little movie on YouTube and this kind of things, and working a lot but not live. But I know I would enjoy it less. So
Yeah, it's not as fun.
I'm not.
100%
Yeah, I'm not doing
agree.
it. I just prefer to win less money and to enjoy more time of Twitch and living and playing. But it's my own choice.
For sure.
And someday I will have to change it.
Yeah, and like I mean, me and you have talked about this privately and whatnot, like, and like, so I'm well versed on like what's going on in your world and what your plans are. So I just, so you know, because like clearly you can't see unless you are watching the stream like muted or something. So I just pulled up your YouTube channel. So by the way, that's a very nice banner you have, dISTORIA. If I do say so myself. I'm just razzing you. So for those of you who aren't aware, I'm just dicking around because I helped him. I made him a new banner for his YouTube channel. So it's just a complete fucking joke because like I'm the one that made that banner. So that's all. I'm tooting my own horn essentially, and I'm just fucking razzing. But yeah. So. Right now he has like, I believe it's five longer videos that are out there. There's some cool stuff going on, but help me out here because with the translation dISTORIA, because like again, I know I have an idea what these are, but not all of them. So the one like that says Civ 6 game to, oh my fuck, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this, but like tourneys, I think it's tourneys, top 10 world. So what is that one about? The 6 hour and 51 minute.
Civ 6 game tournoi top 10 world.
Yeah, that one. So what like.
That was a tournament, an FFA, and that was with 10 of the best players of the world.
Okay.
And I did play it, yeah.
Okay, right on. So you were competing.
I think it's the one I won.
Okay, and that's your point of view stream, correct? Like basically.
Yeah.
And then so the next one then on the list is Tudo N something 1.
Yeah, Tudo number 1.
Yeah.
How to settle his capital and some question answer.
Okay.
So I was waiting for a game.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do on my stream on Twitch.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna do you a tutorial. And
Okay.
for 2 hours, I was talking and explaining some of the very important things that you have to do on the early game for the 5 first turn. And it took me 2 hours to do it. And then I was answering to some people.
Like responding to viewer questions and comments. So, and then like, so like, I'm just asking because like the screenshot that like is there on your channel right now has Alex in it. Like, is that like, was it based on like dISTORIA, like Alexander from Macedon? Was it Alex, or is it covering a whole bunch? A general? Okay, so just a general. Okay, cool. Now, did you like talk about like different openings as far as like culture and religion and science and stuff, or what? Like...
I did mostly talk about how to settle the first city. So why you want to settle on a hill, with forest, without forest. When you want to settle on non-French, how you want to settle on the coastal, how you wanna place your district, what you wanna work in first. Do you want work food? Do you want work production, face, culture, and the reason behind it. The most important is the reason.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
there's always a reason. And
Exactly.
if you understand the reason, you can
You're
understand
never
why
gonna
you
learn.
do this choice. And
You're fucking preaching to the choir, man. Like, you're
yeah.
like, that's literally the whole point of my fucking channel, right? Is to, like, not only teach people, like, okay, like, cause like I can sit there, I can open, I can watch like Rage play a game, or I can watch you play a game, or I can watch Jack play a game, or whatever, right? And like, sure, there's a certain amount of like education I can watch from just like seeing it happen, but like, when you actually have somebody explaining the logic behind the reasons like that they're doing the moves that they're doing, that's when the players learn themselves. Like, I have so many players in my community that like started off on Settler or freaking King or wherever they were, right? And after watching me for like a month or two of like different videos, they're like, yeah, I'm on deity crushing it, man, it's all thanks to you. Like, and I love hearing that. Like, so like, I know that now, like, from our personal interactions and stuff, I know that you stream in French, correct? But yet, if somebody comes in English...
Most of the time I stream in French, but sometimes there is some English viewers, so I can talk with them and answer questions.
For sure.
I can bring it with you, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. So then...
Everyone is welcome.
Exactly. It's a big party. Come play, right? Or come hang out.
Yeah. And most of the time I'm playing with English people, so I'm also talking English for the communication.
Correct. Yeah, and that I knew and I was going to touch upon. But so the reason why I was like framing it that way and starting you down that path was so specifically this tutorial, this early game tutorial, the 2-hour one, right? Is that like that's all in French though, correct? Like you're speaking in French? Yeah. So that's why I was asking, which is no problem at all. I just want to make sure for like the people who are hearing us speak English and like, but you can still like English and French is still fucking close enough. Like, believe me, like take this from my word. I'm not the smartest person in the world, right? Where I literally spent like 40 hours watching a Chinese player named Roguestar play a game in Chinese, speaking Chinese 100%, learned the strategy enough that like I took it, and that was hard, right? But then from me watching you and me watching Liege, right, I can like literally look at your policy card, you know what I mean, or your settler, and figure out what you're doing, even if you're not speaking English, right? So I could literally go watch your 2-hour tutorial in French and just watch, like, sure, I wouldn't understand exactly what you're saying, but I can understand, like, okay, this is, you're going to want to settle a builder here, or like scout with your warrior this way, or this is where you settle. Like, you could still piece it together.
But for example, the 3 versus 3 tournament with Jack and Zvok.
Yeah, that's in English.
English. Of the time, since I was playing with 2 English guys.
For sure.
But sometimes I'm also talking on French to the chat also. It happened. 100%.
And so for those of you who aren't catching this live or are listening and are not like watching with the screen and whatnot, so his YouTube channel is dISTORIA. Just search dISTORIA on YouTube, or if there's in the description down below, there is links to it. But I would highly recommend checking him out. It'll maybe motivate him to get it off his fucking ass and make some cool YouTube videos. Maybe, right? when you get back to town from your girlfriend's house.
6 days from now.
Yeah, there you go. That's not too far away. It's coming up quick, right? So, I mean, like, I'm obviously just joking around. He's going to do whatever the fuck he wants. But, like, we're just going to... I'd like to put some pressure on him here. So if you'd like to see him do some YouTube videos, then definitely leave a comment if you're not catching this live. Or even ping him on Twitter, @dISTORIA. There's 2 A's, so that's why I was following you, and I still tried to, like, when I was getting the links for the description, I'm like, I searched for dISTORIA on Twitter. I'm like, how the fuck is he not the number 1 result? And like, I was baffled for a minute. I had to go find like my followed list and like click on and find you that way. And I'm like, oh, because there's a second A at the end of it on the Twitter handle. But
it was already taken.
Exactly. No, understandably so. So then freaking definitely make sure you tweet @dISTORIA with 2 A's and tell him how much you would like to see a tutorial video and on what subject, because I'm sure he could freaking educate you a lot better than I could. And maybe that'll be the motivation he needs to actually to make a few videos and more short form things. Because personally speaking, like for myself anyways, like I like the editing process is my least favorite part of the whole process, and I agree, I enjoy interacting with my community. But like one thing too, like, so the way that I can do that, or you can do that even when you're making YouTube videos, is your comment section, right? So when you put out a video, even if it's recorded and it's not live, right? Once that video goes live and it starts getting traction, like for instance, your one, like, you know how you told me before, you're like, oh, there's that one that really blew up, like your video, right? And I'm looking at it now and I can see it's your tutorial. And you know why it blew up? It's not because like you had like a rock star there. It's because you're teaching people and they found value in it. But having already looked through your channel dISTORIA, and I know I haven't told you this, but I've looked through it obviously, right? I can click on the video right now, which I'm pulling it up. I'm like pausing it and not going to show it, but like going through your comment section, that's where I would say you did a great job on this one, and that's why it blew up, because every single fucking comment, view reply from dISTORIA, view reply from dISTORIA.
Yeah,
like
good for every movie.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the engagement with your community. That's how you get people to care about you, and you're helpful with them, and you answer them questions and stuff. And that's how you can like still have, like, even if it's not live, you can still interact with people and like help them out and kind of take pleasure out of it that way. You know what I mean? But that's why that video has more views than the other ones, because I looked through the other ones and I've noticed that you replied the most on that one compared to all the other ones. Like, even I would think that the 3v3 tournament with Jack and, like, how do you pronounce the other player? The C Evoki? Like, you don't pronounce the C?
Evoki.
Okay, yeah. So like, I would say that one would probably be the biggest draw, you would think, because you got name brand, like people that people recognize, and yet it only has 126 views. You know what I mean? Like, so anywho, enough dwelling on that. I'm not trying to preach to you by any means, my friend. Just giving you a hard time and maybe trying to get some motivation there to light a fire under your ass a little bit, right? But anywho, moving on, because I'm not trying to talk down to you or tell you what to do by any means. You're a guest here and you're helping me out, and I definitely appreciate that. But I mean, you know from our interactions that I'm just giving you a hard time, and frickin' it's all good, right?
Exactly. No pressure.
No pressure. And as you always know, I'm an open book too. Whenever you have a question, if you do, you can reach out and you scratch my back and I scratch yours, right, my friend? Not in a strictly platonic way. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But anywho, so then moving along here, we're almost finished, like I said. Well, I know I did say that a while ago, but we kind of got distracted. But that's what's great about podcasts, is that, like, it's long form content, right? Like, there's no frickin' direct, like, strict path. We have to do it this way. That there's no changing, no going with the flow. It's almost like how in Civ 6 you have to, like, be able to adapt, right? Like, that's the biggest skill, is being able to adapt your strategy to the, like, reacting to what the other team does or the other player does, and your map and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, most important civilization is to react on other player and on what happens around you, the range of the game.
For sure. Okay, so then continuing on, so we can finish off the scripted crap and then kind of open up to questions to the people who are in chatting and are here. I'm actually going to have to go quickly. I don't know if you can hear her whining, but I got to go let my dog out real quick. So I'll ask you a longer question that I won't hear your answer to, but because I already know the answer to it, we'll continue on, and I'll be back in just a second here. But then, so what are a few things off the top of your head that you could suggest to new people who are looking to get started on YouTube, Twitch, or wherever, like, regardless of the game, like, you know, just what's your advice that you could give after having done it yourself for however long? And I'll be right back.
I would recommend to people to not look at the number of the viewer, like I was saying before, and to just talk all the time. If you are trying to animate the stream, just talk all the time, either if someone talk in your chat or not. And if you are streaming for a professional point of view, try to focus on your gameplay as much as possible, but when you have a bit of time open, try to answer to the question of the viewers and to read the chat. It's not always easy. I know it, especially on Civilization. You have to be aware of what's happening every the game, so it's not easy to do both, but you have to try it. And if you have some really serious event, just focus on your event, but tell it to the people that you're not gonna watch the chat because you have to focus in the game, and so they know.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I caught the tail end of it there. I got back. Like I have a very small house, so it's not a far walk to the backyard to let my dogs out and come back. Because I'm not living in a mansion either, man. I fucking promise you that right now. And that's the one thing. Running a podcast from your living room sounds awesome until your dogs start whining that they want to go outside. But okay, so then continuing on that same kind of thing, like for people who are wanting to try to get into this, whether it's like making videos or streaming or Twitch or YouTube or whatever, or even just getting into the gaming scene, right? What was the biggest mistake you made personally in hindsight that slowed down your growth? Like whether it's like back with League, whether it's Civilization, or if you have a couple different things that come to mind, like what's the biggest mistake that you fucked up and would like to do things differently? If you could go back, like reset the clock to, you know, like...
I will not do it differently. I wouldn't say it's a mistake. Just when on Fortnite, I could have keep going on Fortnite and get big money.
Yeah,
But
like this, how big it blew up now is what you mean, right? In hindsight, is that what you're talking about? I'm just not trying to make sure I understand properly.
not million, but enough to live on every day, you know, to not having issue with money, these kind of things. But I was not taking pleasure anymore on the game, so I chose to stop it and to go for another one that has less viewer possibility.
Yeah, but that you enjoyed more though, right? Essentially.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't say it's a mistake.
Yeah, not at all. But you're right though. Like I 100% agree with everything you said actually, because like it's sure it was like a missed growth opportunity. But you have to ultimately decide. It's not all about fucking growth. Like, you'll get there. Like, believe me, you're going to get there. Like, I guarantee you, you're going to get there. But it's not all about getting there the fastest as you possibly can. It's about enjoying yourself while you're doing it. Like, if you're fucking hating what you're doing, then you're doing something wrong. Like, and like, having the vision and, like, knowing yourself enough to realize that, like, from my perspective, I mean, like, from hearing your story and you say that, like, it just, like, it's refreshing to hear that. Like, it's refreshing to see somebody who's like emotionally centered enough, like, you know, have a high emotional intelligence where you can like realize that, okay, you know, maybe Fortnite's the best game to get me there fastest, but I'm not enjoying it like I used to, so I'm just gonna fucking drop it like a bad habit and now focus on a game that I do enjoy and does bring me happiness, right?
Exactly.
Because like a lot of people wouldn't do that, like, or a lot of people would be like, no, that's just the wrong way to think about it. And I say, fuck that, that's the right way to think about it. Like, it's not all about money, it's about happiness and enjoying your life. And if you fucking hate your job, it's just like working a 9 to 5 that you hate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you fucking hate your job but you're getting paid lots of money, like, oh well, like, sure, you like, I mean, I should like preface that by saying, like, as long as you're like making a livable income, whatever, like, as long as there's food on your table and you're not like homeless, right? Then, like, other than your basic needs though, you don't need to live a lavish life in order to be happy. And just like, it's a marathon, not a fucking sprint, right? Like, you'll get there.
I totally agree with you on that. I'm not. I don't need that many things on my life.
Yeah, like, you don't need too many like comforts. You pretty like simplistic freaking. That's what you mean?
Yeah. I have I need just not a house, but you understand what I mean. A roof, some food, these kind of things. Wait, girlfriend.
Yeah, maybe an awesome girlfriend who puts up with your dumb ass. You know, like the list is.
So
exactly. So you're set. So if you don't mind then, because I actually am curious, and like we have talked a little bit, but not like a whole lot about this kind of stuff. So like your girlfriend, like you've mentioned her several times throughout our conversations, like both privately and publicly or whatever. But like, how long have you been with your girlfriend? Like, how long has that been going on?
It would have been for something like 2 months, I would say.
Okay, so 2 months. So it's a newer girlfriend then, essentially.
Yes, my friend.
Okay, well there you go. You're still in that honeymoon phase. Enjoy it.
Always.
Always. There you go. I like that. All right. So continuing on here, then, if you you sort of answered this already, but if you had to start from scratch again today, would you still play the same games? And you kind of said yes, basically, right? Like you would still play. You would still start with League. You would still play.
Yeah. I would play the same game, just I would know in advance what I should do on the patch, you know. You already did it.
Yeah, for sure, man. So then, skipping through that one, then, like talking about your game content, like you already briefly described. So like you do a lot of you do on like YouTube is basically like an afterthought for you. There's like 5 things there, like that's like literally a nothing issue. So let's just talk about
I
your
have a
Twitch.
bit more. If you click
Oh,
on
there
the-
is more. Like, oh yeah, okay, those are just your recent uploads. Yeah. So if I go, there actually, never mind. Yeah, and I didn't even do this. So there's some Fortnite stuff. It looks like.
Old stuff, really old.
Really old stuff from 2 years ago. So I have actually a question for you, and I'm going to put you on the spot 100%, and I'm going to 100% hold you to this. Okay, so prepare yourself. Are you ready? You know how you do coaching for me, and I pay you, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I pay you, right, will you coach me in Fortnite?
Fortnite?
Yeah. Like not lots. I mean, and I'm not talking about professionally. Like, listen. Okay, I should give some context. Okay, so recently, like a friend of mine in real life, like a real friend, right? Her son plays Fortnite. Okay, and he's like 7 or 8 or something. He does a Fortnite channel with his dad. Okay, which is awesome. By the way, huge shout out to Dylan Game Time, and I would highly recommend people check it out. But yeah, so like I'm not sure his exact age, but he's like 7 or 8 or whatever. And so like I actually just gave him like all my old shit. Like when I did my upgrades of my lighting and my green screen and stuff, I gave him the stuff, and they've already got a video up of him and his dad, and it was just the other day. So I was like happy to see that. But basically, what I'm asking for is because I have fucking no idea what I'm doing with Fortnite, and I want to do a collaboration basically, like where like I'm going to do a game, like play Fortnite against some people just for fun, like for shits and giggles, like not professionally by any means, right? But I just don't want to be completely like horrible, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm still going to be bad. I'm never going to be good, but I don't want to be like stumbling around. Like, believe it or not, I actually did a Fortnite collaboration like 2 years ago too with somebody else, right? So, and it was a pretty rough experience for me because I'm out of my wheelhouse, right? And then furthermore, okay, there's the second question. So if I pay you, right, again, like the coaching, because I'm not talking about how much, because you know how much and I know how much, and that's all good, my friend, right?
500 by hour.
What?
500.
500 an hour, yes. As he's like Dr. Evil in his little pinky fucking like taking over the world with $500 an hour.
Yes.
But so if you would do that for me, like, and I don't really want to do like an hour or two myself. Like I'm not looking to fucking like be a pro by any means, but more specifically why I was asking is for this little kid, I would honestly like to freaking have you do one-on-one coaching with him. If I could, like, I have to, this is random, I have to like check with his mother, like, cause I'm allowed to talk about him as much as I want. I'm allowed to share stuff on social media. Like I have like his mother's permission, but clearly I would have to run it by her, just make sure that she'd be okay with like some random French guy talking with her son, voice chatting, right? You know what I mean? So, but if it's okay with her, would you be willing to spend like a couple hours with the kid?
I didn't play at the game for more than 1 year, so he's probably better than me actually.
Oh, he might be like really like dISTORIA. If you check out on YouTube, Dylan Game Time, so like DYLAN space Game Time, like that's his channel. It's got like 250 subscribers or 240 subscribers or something. Like it's a kid's face. It's him and his dad on the thing. Dylan Game Time. Yeah, he's right at the top. That Dylan Game Time. You see his little face. He's laughing there. It says Dad and Son Video Games, Fortnite, Minecraft. So I can't play any of the videos because they're in their older stuff. They used copyrighted music, and I was trying to do a nice thing, and I showed a video in a live stream, and I got copyright struck for it. So, but yeah, so if you go there, you'll actually see how good he is. Like he's actually good enough where like he plays against like adults and like in like the battle royal mode or something or whatever it's called, and like actually gets like kills. Like I think he gets like it goes on a 17 kill streak or an 18 kill streak or something. And he's definitely better than his dad. Like at first I was like wondering like if his dad was being nice and letting him win, like because I'm not familiar. But then after seeing how good he is, like, and from people telling me like, holy shit, he's so good at building and like this and that, like I know that it's legit. Like this kid has potential, I think, for the future kind of thing. Like the future is going to be bright for Dylan. But anywho, we won't dwell on that. I'll talk to you more about it privately anyways. I just basically was trying to do a shout out here. So this is a kid from my hometown, Thunder Bay, Ontario. He's awesome. Him and his dad are doing a video or a YouTube channel on Fortnite. So definitely show them some love if that's something that you're into. Anywho, onward and forward we go. So then, is there anything you wanted to shout out or bring attention to, like an upcoming event? Like, I know you mentioned the game tomorrow, but like, is there anything bigger up in the horizon for you? Like, do you have a charity event coming up that you're involved in? And that's not a segue into my charity event, I promise. It's a scripted question. Like, I know you're fucking doing my charity event in January. I'm not trying to like be sneaky and give my own self a shout out here. I mean, like a charity event that is not related to me at all. I should have led with that. Nothing right now at the moment.
Actually, for now, I'm just living a bit for myself.
Okay,
And
for sure.
maybe when I will back, I will have an OP. I don't know if you know what I mean by OP.
No, you'd have to explain a bit.
Like on Twitch, there is a mark of a game that contact you, and you play their game, and if people download the game, you win money.
Okay, yeah. Like, no, I know exactly what you mean. Like an affiliate link. Like you'll have code dISTORIA or something, and if somebody plays the game with code dISTORIA, you get money. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, the game is free, and if people download it, I get 10 bucks.
Okay, and where is this active right now, or in 6 days you're talking about? Like,
No, it will be organized when I come back to the home, so there is no that yet.
okay, well, for sure. Then for people who are watching this live, definitely stay tuned and check out dISTORIA on Twitch for that. But if you're not catching this live, because this is filmed live November 21st, 2020, we're at 4:38 p.m. Eastern at the current moment. If you're not catching this live, once dISTORIA gets back into his hometown there and gets his shit together, he'll be sending me the information to this, obviously, and it will be in the description down below, along with his like Twitter and Twitch and all that shit down there. So that will definitely be there in the future. And you can guarantee that I'll be playing whatever dumb video game that is to give you a $10 because you definitely deserve it. And when I say dumb video game, I don't mean the game specifically. I just mean that like whatever the game is, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna download it, get you your $10 because you're good shit and you're a good guy, and I'd be happy to do it. But other than that, then, like, if you didn't have anything else you want to bring to, I guess I have a personal question before I look to see if there's other questions from the chat and stuff. So what I'm actually looking to hear more about is, can you tell me more about the charity event that you did with Liege, where you guys like got the shout out from the president and shit, like the annual thing? Like, it wasn't just you and Liege, like it was a big thing, but could you explain that whole thing?
I didn't do it personally.
Oh,
but,
okay, sorry, I misunderstood. Go ahead.
But yeah, it was like 30 or 40 streamers. They are doing it like every year for 4 years or 5 years. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
They are raising money for charity, and they raised I don't remember exactly.
It was like over 5 million. I heard. Yeah.
5,300,000, I think. If I remember well for
that's insane. That's insane to think about. Like, and they got a shout out from the president, I think, on freaking on Twitter, right? Like the president of France, not fucking Donald Trump for you Americans. The world doesn't revolve around America. But President, what's his name? Emmanuel Macron. Okay, yeah. So that's a freaking huge deal when a charity stream raises 5.3 million euros for a good. And what was the cause this year, right? Because it all went to one charity, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I don't remember,
Okay, no worries. It's no worries, man. It's all good. People can Google it. Google's a powerful tool, and we'll leave it at that then. So, like, I was actually just asking about it more or less. Amnesty International? Okay, cool. Well, either way, though, like, the reason why I was asking about that is, so, like, have you done charity events yourself then in the past?
Yeah, I did it with CivFR one time, and I did some also before. For one with CivFR, I did sing, music of Disney.
Of Disney?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. Like, and Disney was a sponsor, or am I misunderstanding?
Like, we had a donation goal, and one of them was to sing with a friend on.
Oh, yeah. I'm following you now.
and one other was to doing tutorial on my Twitch and this kind of things. So we did get some money for the charity also.
Right on. That's awesome. And so, how much did you end up raising then? Like ballpark it, like not the exact fucking dollars and cents, but just like a rough estimate. Like I'm not looking for you know what I mean?
CivFR, I think we had 2,000 or something like that.
Okay, right on. And so, like, can you walk me through that process or your experience with that process, like setting it up, like from the back end of things? Because like that, you clearly know why the fuck I'm asking you these questions. The audience doesn't, but like obviously there's a very personal reason that I'm like looking to pick your brain about charity events. but yeah, like can you like how did you like with your first one, like how did you go about like setting things up and organizing things? Like what did you find that worked, what did you find that didn't? Like did you make huge mistakes that you like changed the next time around, or like
Everything did go well. It was a friend of me that contacted me for proposing me the event, and I was like, yes, with pleasure, obviously.
yeah
And everything goes well each time because you do it for charity, so everyone is happy, everyone is
everyone
doing
wins, everyone wins.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's for a good cause, so there is no bad
yeah, there's no amount. It's it doesn't matter if you raise $1 or $10, even there's or $1,000. At least you're making awareness of for their event and doing a good thing, like and trying to do a good thing. You know what I mean? Like putting positive stuff
even,
back into the community.
even with the community on this kind of event. There is no toxicity. All the
Yeah,
people are coming for good reason.
good time, good hearted, good natured. Like yeah, I 100% agree. And then so like did you like for that one you said your friend reached out to you, right? That was the first one.
And the second one was with CivFR, the
Okay.
admin of
But with that one, did you organize it though, or like you were just brought on because of your name?
I was just coming on it.
You were the talent, right? you're the talent. That you're the draw. Yes, yes. I understand. No problem at all. Yeah, and then so that's the segue. This is in that direction plug to my charity event that is upcoming. It's at a date to be determined. However, it is going to be in early January, and it's going to be called the Massacre After New Year's or something like that. Now I'm like drawing a blank as to the exact. I had a catchy phrase for it that I have, but I can't think of it off the top of my head for a moment. But Nightmare After New Year's. That's it. Yeah, it's Nightmare After New Year's. What it's going to be is there's going to be 6 professional Civ 6 gamers, and dISTORIA is nice enough to have been one of them. Everybody's volunteering their own time for free, so there's going to be myself and dISTORIA and Jack. So Jack the Ripper, for those of you who aren't familiar, he's another pro Civ 6 player. He's actually of Russian descent. But Jack is confirmed on, and then confirmed also is Rage of Boom, who's a Swedish Civ 6 pro gamer, and then also confirmed is Tordred, who is from the United States, and he's the next week's guest, ironically enough. Almost like this was planned. And he's been nice enough to volunteer his time as well. And then Mark, like I said, aka Normulator, is also involved, and he's going to be playing on the other team. So at the moment there's still 2 spots open for Civ 6 pro gamers, and I basically know who they're going to be, but I'm not going to talk about it at this time because I'm also contemplating the idea of raffling off the game spots for charity, like, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. So it might be like 2 pros against 2 pros with then me and Normulator on each team, so that's 3 versus 3, and it might be 2 random people that, like, if they donate a certain amount of money, like, or like make a raffle, and like, so that might happen. But again, all the details will be forthcoming, and it looks like I might even have a corporate sponsor for the charity event, but I can't really talk about that, so I will definitely not be talking about that. And other than that, though, it's just going to be a really good time. We're going to have a 4 versus 4 game and just basically have a blast playing the game, and all the money is being raised is being split for currently 2 things, but there actually might be a third charity that I'm literally just sent an email off yesterday that I'm inquiring about. So I'm not really going to talk about the charities at this point in time, but they will all be 3 different things helping my local city of Thunder Bay, Ontario, and more details will follow, obviously, and there will be promotional about it. And speaking of promotions about it, I'm excited to say, let's just say, a big name in the Civ 6 community of Irish descent has been gracious enough to also help out with a little bit of promotion. So there will be more details coming, and it's pretty exciting stuff. But I think we pretty much... oh, hey, Polaris, how's it going? Polaris Gaming is now in the house. How are you doing, man? But yeah, so basically, I think we've covered all the questions I had for you. D'istoria, out of curiosity, do you have any questions for me? And this isn't scripted. I'm putting him on the spot directly.
No.
Fair enough, my friend. Don't worry. You're not hurting my feelings. I got my big boy pants on today. So then, other than that, I think we're gonna basically just open up the questions to the chat for the most part. So there's only a whopping 8 of you here at the moment, but for any of those 8 of you here, instead of filling that form out, don't worry about it for today. Like, freaking, this is only the first one anyways. So just literally, right now there's a bit of a stream delay between like me talking and you hearing this. So if you have a question for D'istoria, feel free to @GamerGramps or @D'istoria. Well, actually, just @GamerGramps, because then I'll see it and it's red, and then I'll go ahead and ask him, and he's gracious enough to do it. I have some more follow-up questions for you while I have you here. So while we're waiting to hear some questions come in from the chat, then why don't you tell me about... let's see here. How would you say the best way to play Byzantium? Or no, not Byzantium, sorry, I forgot. Babylon's out now. What are your thoughts on Babylon, D'istoria? Like, just start with in general, and then go multiplayer specific, because that's your forte. But just in general, what do you think about the Civ and their abilities? And then kind of touch on multiplayer, like what you see them, like what you envision for them. Because I'm assuming you've dicked around and played them already, correct, or no?
Not even, because...
Because of the girlfriend?
I just read the text about the civilization, and I did understand that was not playable in Teamer. It's totally broken.
It's broken. Yeah, oh yeah, I know. And Rages are already working on balancing it. Like,
it's like actually on the game it's auto-ban. People are not even banning it.
Oh, exactly.
Like not playable.
Yeah, exactly.
So
then
it's not existing, right?
It doesn't exist in your world?
I don't want to play it, because if I start to play it, enjoy it, and I change it, I'm not gonna make the
So you're basically waiting then for the better balanced game to come out with an update, basically, then, and that's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, then exactly. So then, like, to still put you on the spot, because you're not going to get off that easy, my friend. So then, if you haven't played them, so you like, this is just going to be theory crafting essentially. But what would you think would be like a good way to kind of try and balance them? Because they are broken as fuck. Like, don't get me wrong, right? But like for multiplayer specifically, do you have any ideas to how they could? Because I was literally talking with Rage about this like earlier in this week. I'm like, holy fuck, man, I do not envy you whatsoever. Because like, I'm like, I don't even know where you would start balancing them. Because like, I mean, you could go like, you know, like dial back the amount of science that they get from the Eureka thing, but then like if you do that, then they almost turn into like a China, and you don't want to like strip this, like have it just be like a double of another civilization already, right? So do you have any ideas?
Not really. Maybe just give her the technology of the booster she make on his own.
Mm-hmm.
On Teamer, because but even that, it's totally broken. Like you do 3 fucking archer, you get the crossbow. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's fucking broken. I know.
You work a fucking niter. You got still. Like, what the fuck? You go on a hut, late game, you find America for technology, you get it for free, 5 turns.
Yeah.
6 turn,
Oh,
7
I know. Not to mention like not even talking about like you can get rangers probably by turn 30 in online speed and do a ranger rush. Like fucking, there's
turn.
so many possibilities. It's so broken right now. Like I don't even know where they're gonna. Like I'm just like so glad that I have nothing to do with that because I could not imagine trying to freaking balance that at all. Like I don't even know where you'd really start. You know what I mean? Like it's so broken that like for single player, I think it's great. Like I'm all for it, right? But like when it comes to multiplayer, I don't even know where you'd start without like stripping their identity. It's going to be really interesting to see
I
like
just,
what Rage and the other balance guys come up with because I don't envy them at all.
yeah, I'm also on the process for voting for the modification on
Okay,
maybe.
so you're on the same that group
Yeah,
that Rage was telling me about, right? You're on that same committee or
yeah,
whatever it is. Okay, I
yeah.
see, and I wasn't aware of that. So that okay, that's cool to know.
I have to admit that most of the time I'm only voting. I'm not a
Yeah,
proper
not
coach.
testing and helping them. And it's funny because Rage even said the same thing. He's like, I don't do it as much as I should. I'd like to try and do it more, and in the future I will. But yeah. So then I actually have a question for you here, Distoria, coming at you from Polaris Gaming. Which, by the way, huge shout out to Polaris Gaming. He is starting to try and get together his own Civ 6 channel, and I don't know the name of. Well, I mean, I know the name of it, but I don't know the link off the top of my head. But that is definitely, if you search for Polaris Gaming, he kind of looks like a bearded stalker. That's the profile picture. He looks like the Unabomber with fucking a beard and big glasses, like retro glasses. And his question is, how long has Distoria been playing Civ?
Something like 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, something like that. And in terms of hour, I have. Let me check exactly.
Ooh, and up to the minute results. I like that.
I have 6,200 hours.
Six or like six like five French or six like six like
Six, six,
six
like
thousand like 60000.
yeah, but
Jesus Christ, man, you put
zero,
me to
zero,
shame.
zero.
You put me to shame. I thought like I'm like at 1.8 and I'm like Jesus, I freaking spent a lot of time with this game. But I mean, I'm also not a professional player either, right? So that definitely fucking. But wow, I honestly probably had thought you were around 4 myself. Like between 3 and 4, I would have guessed. Like just a guess, you know what I mean? But like 6, wow, good job, man. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
So 6,200 hours. Oh, there you go, precise. And then John Emmanuel in chat says, should it be 90% Eureka, not to full, to avoid abuse? What do you think about that, Distoria?
Maybe, but we still need to see because if you nerf too much the science base and you doesn't give the full technology, it's gonna be really hard for the late game technology. So
Yeah, like my personal idea, like for it would be what I would say would be the easiest way to keep their identity, like keep them being strong and fun. Like, and again, like the numbers are obviously like that's like to be determined and like will have to be played around with. But I would say the best way to do it would be to make it so you don't get the full civilization boost, right? But then that you need to like tweak the level because it's right now I believe it's minus 50% science yield, right? Off the top of my head, I think so. But anyways, like would be to tweak that, right? Like make it less of a nerf to their science yield. So like maybe go like a minus 25% to try, and then 90% of the Eureka you get, or 90% of the technology with the Eureka. Like you know what I mean? Like I think that's kind of how it has to be done. But I mean, I still don't fucking. I'm glad I'm not involved with figuring it out at all, and I just look forward to trying it out myself. Whenever you guys get it out to us, I look forward to seeing what you come up with and then playing it and seeing it for myself. Because I was dicking around with them in single player on Thursday, and they're definitely a whole blast to play. But I mean, like broken as fuck, and I loved it. Like I loved every minute of it. But yeah, like definitely freaking. Not balanced in the slightest. Which I mean, it's not a problem in single player though. You know what I mean? You're playing with yourself against computers. It's all about having fun, and I love that they're broken. Like I love it. And sorry, what?
I was saying that in multiplayer, if you have some civilization like that, you're not playing. when
Yeah.
already won.
Yeah, and so like that's what I mean is that like where I think like I love the fact that they're coming out with these really powerful civilizations. Like I personally am against that they nerfed Grand Columbia, right, in like one of the more recent patches, like in single player, and I think that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like really, realistically, there's nothing wrong with how Grand Columbia came, like brand new day one patch. They were just fine. Like what they need to do is spend time buffing their shitty old boring civilizations. Right, like from vanilla and all that, they need to reinvent them and make them fun. Like they did the work on Victoria, England for single player, right? They did the work on Norway, right? And they're fun. They buffed it a little bit. They started it a little bit with Georgia, right? Like in that last one, with the Dark Ages or whatever the fuck, like that game mode, right? On that patch, they also increased her single player, like standard game change, where they added in like if you're in a golden age, you get an extra wildcard policy. Like that's definitely a nice change, I think. But like what my personal take is that they should get like how they had like for the dramatic ages, when you were in a golden age with her, you could slot in a dark age policy card. I think that should actually
playing the mod.
Go ahead, sorry.
Like pirates, BRs, these kind of things. I'm not playing it.
Yeah.
It changed too much from the original.
Yeah, exactly. It's like totally different from playing their base game, and like when you're so involved in the multiplayer scene. Like I freaking loaded back. It was so funny, like because I've been playing lots of multiplayer, right? Like, and so like I haven't played a single player game until like just recently, like for the first time in like I don't know, at least like a month, but well, not a month, maybe like 3 weeks, whatever. Anyway, freaking, and so I was playing a game with my community, and there was we were at a 5 vs 5 game, and we were actually playing the vanilla game, like with no expansions, no nothing, right? And freaking, I went and when I picked my Pantheon, because like how I like to play faith based, right? So I played with the Khmer, like the original vanilla version of them, but then my Pantheon, just because I've been playing with better balanced games so often that I didn't look at it, right? I just like clicked, and I clicked Sacred Path because I had like a bunch of forests and freaking rainforests and good locations for it, and then I'm like, oh wait, it doesn't work with the regular forests. In like without the patch, and it's just funny how different it is. Because like, what do you think about like better balanced game in general, like the religions and the pantheons and stuff? Like I think myself 100%, like every single thing that you guys have in that multiplayer mod should be in the base game. Like they Firaxis, I mean, should literally take that mod and fucking just apply it to all their civilizations. Like it's so much better than like the vanilla like version of Gathering Storm or whatever.
It makes the game more fair and more interesting on many aspects.
Yeah, like and it is because like the pantheons, right? Like I understand like Firaxis, like from listening to like game development streams in the past and stuff, right? Like I know that basically like Carl, like who is like borderline, right? Like he's the one their lead QA person or whatever, right? So he's explained that like it's intentional that the settler pantheon is really, really powerful and it goes fast. That's an intentional thing. And I agree that there should be a tier system in the pantheons. There should always be stronger than others. But you guys with the better balanced game mod have that because there are stronger ones than others. Like there's the best and like, they're not all like completely balanced. But every single choice is usable based on your map. Like literally every one. Like there's like, I don't know. It just, to me, they need to get with that in the vanilla thing, I think, like, and incorporate it into the base game because there's so many nice changes. Like even the governor changes, especially like breaking up Pingala and like splitting up the culture and sending it to Moksha and keeping the science on Pingala, like breaking him up, and then the changes that they made like with the other governors, like it makes every single governor viable. Like, you know what I mean?
You have some choice on not taking always the same shit. Okay, I'm gonna take
Exactly.
settlement. I'm gonna go for Pingala, culture, science. I'm gonna do that, and that. No, so
Yeah.
you have different paths in adaptation of your map.
Yeah, exactly. And like even you can literally have like two really powerful choices, but like they play completely differently. Like, you know, like opening up like a Liang open if you have enough resources compared to like going for Moksha for the culture, which is more popular, right? There's different ways to do it based on your map, and there's like you can still have very, very effective choices that are completely different from each other based on the same map with the same civilization. But my dog is barking outside. I gotta go let her in Destroyer. So can you just randomly start talking about some shit for like a minute or two, and then we'll be wrapping this up. I think if you're good, I'm good. Basically, I think we can actually just kind of leave it here.
My girlfriend is waiting.
Yeah, there you go. You got priorities, man. So thank you fucking very much, Dstoria. I am so happy that you were here for me for my first ever podcast. Like, and I'm happy that you're my first guest because, like, personally, like on a personal level, right? Like, you know, I've only been interacting with you for like a month and a half now, right? Like, it's not like we're long lost best friends by any means. Right, but like you've been so helpful with me personally, so nice. Like in like even just when I remember my first cast, right, of the CWC game, like of your game, remember? And you were so patient with me, like, and I was so nervous, right, like with the fucking game lobbies and stuff, right? You remember like how patient you were with me, like way back, and I was just you fucking made my day. But meanwhile, you were probably getting annoyed as balls, right? That I'm like, oh my god, this fucking like new guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's holding up the game. But you didn't like come off that way at all. You know, you were like really helpful.
I was just being helpful and trying to make it better for everyone. That's all.
Exactly, and I cannot even like I've never talked to you about this ever before. I've never said it, but like I cannot tell you how much I appreciated that and how much like that small little gesture on your part made my day so much better because like I was just super nervous and super excited, but like very stressed. And like you were basically like freaking just made the whole thing so much easier for me. And then now look where we are, you know what I mean? Whereas like think about like if you would have just simply like in an alternate universe, right? If you were some arrogant fucking prick that like, you know, like was condescending to me, like in that exact same situation, you know what I mean? If you're like, hurry up, you fucking scrub, we're waiting on you, you're holding up the game. Right? While I'm not a snowflake by any means and I wouldn't cry about it and I would feel bad that I'm holding up the game, like it would have had a totally different trajectory as far as like us talking and like coaching and like everything, you know what I mean?
But I'm not this kind of jerk.
No, I know you're not this kind of jerk. I know, that's what I'm saying. I know you're not this kind of jerk. Like, and that's what's awesome, man, is that like you're a genuine person. You're so nice. Like, and I'm not just kissing your ass. Like, it's fucking legit, man. Heart to heart. Like, that really, really, really made my day. Like, and I cannot even begin to describe how much that meant to me on that day. So from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it. Thank you for being my fucking first guest on this podcast. I think there's crazy things coming in the future for you and me, my friend, both of us together. And like, I'm sure, like, honest to God, I'll tell you right now that I'm sure we're going to be friends for like real friends for a long time. And there's some exciting stuff coming up in the future between the two of us. And I hope I can help in some small way to getting you where you want to go.
With big pleasure, of course.
Of course. All right. Well, I'll let you get back to your girlfriend. Say hi to for me in a completely platonic way. I'm not trying to hit on your girlfriend or make moves. Yeah. But I'll talk to you soon privately, my friend. Okay. All right. Have a good day. You too, man. You take care. And for everybody else, that is that. This is officially the wrap of the first episode ever of the Civ 6 podcast, Cradle of Civilization. Thank you for being here. Let me know in the comments if you're not live right now, if you're catching this later. I'd love to talk to you. I answer every question that everybody asks me on my YouTube stuff, so feel free to comment as much as you want and ask me just about anything, because I'm a pretty fucking open book when it comes to me. And again, just want to thank dISTORIA immensely. A huge shout out to Brittany. She knows who she is, and I'm not going to elaborate on that. It's not like a dating thing, but Brittany, if she's listening to this, she knows who she is, and a thank you. I was so very, very, very nice of you to do what you did yesterday and take all that time to spend with me and talk with me about everything you did. And I am really looking forward to seeing how that relationship builds in the future as far as a professional relationship and not like platonic or not like dating, etc. Because I'm not trying to hit on you either. But anyways, that's it. That's all for me. I've definitely rambled enough. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed it.